Welcome back to Pipes Etc. Glad you could stop by. It's raining like crazy outside. I got the window open. You probably can hear it. Today, I am recording my VR to Andrew, the Bluefin Piper. Congrats to you, Andrew. You certainly have created an interesting channel. Today, I am smoking my Chacon Maya number 155 with some LJ Peretti Blend 52. The question as Andrew would like us to answer is actually a two-part question. The first is, what type of blend would you create if you could blend your own tobacco? And the second part is, what would you call it? He also suggested submitting some tin art. All right. I thought about this quite a bit and decided instead of making a completely new blend, I would like to see a discontinued blend come back to life. And if I were a blender, I would try to remake the blend McClellan Tudor Castle. I truly enjoyed this blend because of those really sweet, bright Virginias and the excellent stoved and unstoved red Virginias. They combine these Virginias with the influence from the Inigi and Perique, which this was just brilliant blending. It was a truly sublime smoking experience. So if I could blend it, I would certainly rename it. I never felt Tudor Castle truly grasped the essence of what this smoking experience really offered. Well, to me. My first inclination was to take a jab at McClellan for bailing on us so unexpectedly, so I came up with, "Here's to you, McClellan." But that one didn't seem like it would go over very well, so I had to think of something else. I tried to think of a name that reflects the fact that the Virginias and Perique are of American origin, like me, but also something that reminded me of Greece, because that is where Unigi is originally from. I had been reminiscing about my Navy days recently and remembered the first time my ship cruised through the Aegean waters off of Greece. It was absolutely beautiful. I was a young sailor and I remembered the experience I had on my first port of call in Greece. I was pretty anxious to get to port, but also a bit nervous. So a day before we arrived, I spoke with an older sailor about what to expect when we got there. You know, cultural differences, language barrier, getting around. I was sure he'd have the answers because he'd probably been there many times before. He told me we'd put in port a bit south of Athens and that most of the crew would go to Athens on a USO bus tour. He told me try and avoid that. You see, we were in a task force of 7 ships. They were amphibious assault ships filled with Marines. Plus, it was mid-spring, so there was bound to be a lot of crowds. He suggested instead I take a local bus to Corinth. It would be far less crowded, less expensive, and it had plenty of historical sites to see. He also said to spend the night and return the next morning, so I'd have plenty of time to see everything. Even though I knew we would be in port a few days, I tried to get back that next day. You never want to miss your ship's movement. That's really bad. But he was right about Corinth. It was amazing. I spent all day at the Temple of Apollo and hiking around an ancient fortress on top of a huge hill. There was just so much to see, but really no reason to hurry. There just weren't any crowds. I had plenty of time to see the sights as well as relax, sitting in the cafes and having an otherwise leisurely day. Then in the evening, I had such an amazing meal at a small family-owned restaurant. It was so nice to have the time to relax and meet with the locals after such an eventful day. The more quiet nightlife was a welcome treat as well, because I've been on a ship for so long. So whenever I was about to hit another unfamiliar port, I'd always ask his advice, and he was usually right. So if I were to resurrect Tudor Castle, I would call it Old Salty, after the sailor that gave me such good advice about Greece. Again, congrats to you, Andrew. Thanks for all the videos, and keep them coming. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for stopping by Pipes Etc., and I hope you will again. Until then, good day.